back to another episode of the Bench Mob ENT podcast, the best sports podcast in New Jersey. For those that are watching, you see we have a special guest. For those that are listening, stop listening and go check it out on YouTube. We have on with us tonight none other than Emma Hess, graduate from Liberty, playing professional basketball very soon. Emma, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to hop on with us. How are you doing?
Of course, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
We are glad that you are here. Let's take care of some business first. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, tell any and everybody about this podcast, especially this episode. I am very confident Emma's going to drop some wisdom, some gems, especially if you have any desire to play basketball at the highest level. This is the episode for you to watch. We're trying to be here for a good time and a long time. Emma, you have a very successful collegiate career. I would like to say, I don't know if you agree. Looking at your career in college and in high school, I couldn't get the research on you from middle school, but at least from what I saw
Mhm.
in high school and college, very successful at what you do. When did your love for the game of basketball start?
Um, I would say I loved basketball really early on. I started playing when I was in first grade, maybe, and I always just like to stay active. So I played basketball all growing up. I played soccer from when I was young up until my sophomore year of high school. I played a little bit of softball, and so I think basketball just growing up was something fun I could do. I used to play with my brothers, play with my family, and so it's something we could bond over. And so, early on, I knew I loved the game.
You mentioned soccer, you mentioned softball. Do you feel either of those helped on the basketball court?
Um, Definitely not softball. Soccer a little bit conditioning wise, but it's also like in footwork, but it's also like a completely different type of conditioning. Soccer is more like you're running miles and miles, like long distance, and basketball is more like short bursts. So like I would play soccer and then I would still be out of shape for basketball, which sounds crazy, but like that's just kind of how it works.
Basketball shape is something completely different. Definitely get that because you would think just all the running you be in shape, but it's completely different when it comes to basketball shape. And those are some of the worst players I did not like to play against because soccer players had stamina, but also typically had good footwork,
Yes, yes.
which made them good defenders. And I was not a fan of that. Growing up, right? So you played with your brothers, you played with your family a lot growing up, as you just mentioned. Who were some of the people that inspired you when you were growing up playing basketball?
I think one of my favorite players to watch growing up was Sabrina Ionescu. I loved watching her at Oregon. Still a big fan now with the Liberty. I got to see her play last year actually against Caitlin Clark in the Fever, so that was pretty cool. But definitely her. And then like when I was younger, I don't know what year it was, but the Heat team that had like LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh. I loved watching them and playing with them on 2K, honestly. So they're some of my favorite players.
So you was winning a lot on 2K if you was playing with that team right there.
Yeah, yeah. They were fun.
For you, going back to the college aspect, what went into your thought process in choosing Liberty as the place that you decided to play for your collegiate career?
I had some other offers that I was looking into, but I think Liberty just kind of fit the culture that I was looking for. And then also, the campus is beautiful, facilities are amazing, the coaching staff, love them, have great relationships with pretty much all of them. And I went to camp, their like summer camps a couple times, and I just loved seeing how the girls interact with one another. And then definitely it being a Christian school played a big part as well.
So I want to touch on that aspect, it being a Christian school. Because funny enough, I know a couple people that actually go to Liberty, and I didn't hear about Liberty when I was going to school. I would have definitely considered Liberty because for me personally, I went all the way up into eighth grade was private Christian school the entire time.
Mhm.
For you, right? What role has faith played in your life on the court and off the court?
It's played a big role. Kind of like you, I grew up in going to private Christian school from first to 12th grade. I went to the same school, grew up with those kids. I also, grew up going to church. And so, but like coming into college, Liberty kind of gave me the chance to get away from my family sounds terrible, but kind of like, be able to grow
Hmm.
in my own faith and kind of make it my own while still being in a Christian environment so that like I would have people to fall back on if like I made mistakes or if I needed somebody to come alongside me and mentor me or things like that. I think Liberty really just opened those doors for me in kind of that way.
No, I come anybody that's watching, I think will understand what you're saying because at the end of the day, we can't actually go see God and say that, well, my parents were Christian, I'm good. We have to have our own relationship with God ourselves. So that's huge. Shout out to Liberty because I hear every time I've had on maybe 5 or 6 people from Liberty,
Hmm.
every single time have them on. Liberty is one of those top schools. So athletics, but outside of athletics, which is obviously the more important aspect of who you are as a human being, and if you choose to be a Christian, obviously is the more important part. And I always hear good and great things regarding Liberty. So shout out to Liberty. Within playing basketball, obviously some people like to listen to music before, some people decide I have to have a certain meal before every single game. What was your pregame routine?
So we would have pregame meal as a team, and I would always sit in the same spot, had to sit in the same chair. Didn't really matter what we were eating. But then I would just kind of listen to music, or I would lay on our couch in the locker room and like watch Netflix. That was kind of what I would do for like the hour, hour and a half leading up to the game. And then going out onto the court, I wouldn't tie my shoes in the locker room. I would always go out onto the court. I would sit on our bench and I would kind of like watch the other team warm up for a little bit, and then I would tie my shoes, and then I would go out and get my shots up. That was kind of like my little pregame thing.
For you, you mentioned the music aspect. What was in your musical rotation pregame?
It really depended on the day because you would catch me one day and I'd have like some Rod Wave up in there. Another day I might have some country music. Another day it might be worship. It really would just depend on my mood and the vibes I was feeling.
Okay, okay. So solid playlist. I could dig it with that. Always find that interesting because some people, like I've had on, and even Russell Westbrook has mentioned, like before games, he has to listen to something kind of like mellow because you don't want to
Hmm.
get too overhyped. And you just mentioned Rod Way, so that's definitely down in that
Yeah.
same wavelength right there.
Yep.
So most definitely on that one for you. The collegiate career, bunch of success, 1,000 points, very good season, 3 pointers made. Now you're heading on to the next step, which we will talk later in the episode on whatever your next moves are exactly. I did see that you were signed to an agency. But for you in this process of college, high school, and now after college, how do you stay motivated?
I think the motivation has to come from like inside of you for the most part. So like throughout high school, like my motivation always came to like, oh, like I want to play at the next level, so I have to keep working to get to that next level. And then in college, it was more about like the goals that we wanted to achieve as a team. So like this past season, like I wanted that championship so bad. Like I knew it was my last year. I had spent all 4 years here. The senior class that we had spent pretty much all their time at Liberty. So like our motivation every day was like we're winning the championship, we're winning the championship. And so it's like goals and things that I want to achieve that like keep me motivated.
Yeah, I was rooting for y'all because we had on maybe last year or the year before, we had on Bella and we had her on, and I was hoping that last year that y'all was gonna be able to
Yeah.
get the title. Was watching from over here in Jersey, checking games like what's the box score? Oh, all right, so they won this game. Okay, this was the
Yep.
stats. Of it. So it was a good season. Obviously, they didn't reach the ultimate goal, but I think you guys still definitely had success within it now, right? So as you mentioned, that was your last season. signed with GMG Sports and Entertainment. What are the next steps for you? And if you want to share, what went into the thought process of signing with GMG?
Well, I'll touch on the thought process of signing with GMG first. So the guy that I signed with, he is actually good friends with one of the coaches on our staff, Coach Gerard. So Coach Gerard kind of connected me with him, and I was just talking with him on the phone, and we had some really great conversations. And I was like, "Yeah, I think this guy, will be able to find me what I want, give me what I want, and help me get to that next level." And I don't remember what the first part of the question was.
All good, all good. What are the next steps for you that you're looking forward to now that college is done?
Okay, no, yeah, makes sense. Well, the goal right now is like you mentioned, I did sign with an agency, so I'm looking to hopefully play overseas. I haven't gotten too much traction with that yet, so I'm still kind of in the waiting process, but I'm not really too worried about it. I think the Lord's gonna open the doors that He wants to open when the time is right. So I'm just kind of in the waiting right now, working out, staying in shape, just seeing what opportunities come up.
So, as I mentioned, for those that may not have watched any Liberty last year or may not know who we have on, but we have 1,000 point score on. If you go watch the highlight, we'll drop a clip in here on the back edit. You could get buckets. You can shoot the rock very well. For you, what do you do though, and how do you approach those times where you might have an off night or you might be in a shooting slump? How do you approach that to get back in rhythm?
Well, I actually went through a really bad shooting slump this past season. There was like, I don't know, maybe like 10 games where like I just could not hit a three to save my life. Like it'd be wide open, nobody guarding me, and it just wasn't going in. And so, a lot of time it really just it was reps. So like after home games, if we would win, and then I would just be like, I shot terrible. Like right after the game, I'd be in the gym till like 9, 10 at night, just getting up shots, like basically still in my uniform because I'm like, this is just not gonna cut it. So really, it'd just be get more reps up and trusting in the work that I've put in.
That's what I hear often with shooters. It's just it's going to fall down. You've put in the reps, you put in the time.
Hmm.
Shout out to you though for the work ethic to actually keep working and not, getting in a position of it is what it is. Oh, but you're one of the ones that put in the work, which like you said, of course you trust God to open the doors, but there is an aspect that we have to play in the work ethic and putting in the work. So you doing your part and I'm confident God will do his part and handle the rest for sure.
Definitely,
What
definitely.
what was the biggest lesson for you in your collegiate career?
I think the biggest lesson for me was learning that it's more than basketball. I think my freshman and a little bit into my sophomore year, I was almost like too focused on basketball, but really like one of the best things that comes out of your college career are like the relationships you made. Like the girls on the team, they're gonna be in my wedding one day when I get married. So like the games you're gonna forget. You're gonna forget if who you beat, who you lost to. Of course, you'll remember the super high highs and probably some of the lows, but like the relationships that I made and the friendships that I made, like they're going with me for the rest of my life. So just realizing that it's more than basketball, but like basketball is the main thing that like brings people together.
1,000%. My wife, every time we could be anywhere, and it's somebody out the blue. Tone, oh, what's up, Tone? My wife's like, how do you know that person? Basketball,
Yeah.
basketball. Majority of the relationships, basketball. The people in my wedding, basketball. Like basketball, like you said, it's more than the actual sport, than the playing and the dribbling. It's the relationships that are forged from it that typically stay with you for life. So,
It's so crazy to me too because Liberty recruits a lot of like foreigners, and so
mhm.
like just the people I've met, like I played with girls from the Netherlands, Iceland, Finland, Latvia, Spain. Like I've just played with people from all over the world, and I think that's so cool.
That's extremely dope because you're seeing other cultures, you get to meet other people,
Mhm.
and this is like the thing that people talk about. This little orange ball can literally bring you around the world. So even your teammates coming from Latvia, Spain, and now are in the States at Liberty, like that orange ball can
Yeah.
really take you any and everywhere. It's just, are you going to seize those moments? And like you said, remembering though, like it's bigger than the actual game. What else can you
Mhm.
take away from it that is not dealing with the game? Which I think is a perfect transition for my next question. I think you have a good understanding that basketball is what you do, not who you are.
Mhm.
Who is Emma outside of basketball?
Outside of basketball, I would say I'm pretty fun. I'm pretty chill. I just like to do things with my friends. So whether it's like going to the pool, like going to see a movie, going for hikes. I love being outside. I also love to read. You ask anybody on the team, I love to read. Um yeah, that's pretty I like to watch TV, a lot of Netflix. I would just say I'm super chill. I'm pretty chill.
Sounds like a pretty chill, fun time right there. For you, right? Somebody that's watching this that sees, hey, Emma, she played at the highest level, college basketball. We're speaking to existence, obviously, and claiming we'll be playing professional basketball somewhere. What is one piece of advice you'd give to somebody that has aspirations and goals to play basketball at the highest level?
I would say put in more work than you think you need to. So like in high school, everybody comes to practice. But, does everybody go their hardest at practice? Because some people are just there, high
Mm,
school, more for the vibes, more for the relationships, but does everybody go as hard as they can in a high school practice? And then, you know, outside of practice, are you getting your own shots up? Are you in the weight room? Are you, conditioning on your own? Like those things. Like do more than you think you have to. And coaches will that will translate to the court. Coaches will see that you're giving 100% effort, that you're not afraid to go all out all the time.
that's a great piece of advice right there. The work ethic isn't always there with everybody. And I believe it was Katie that said it. I don't know if he actually created the quote, but he did say something that stuck with me when I heard it, like for the rest of my life. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. And like you said,
Every time.
your coaches see it too. Typically, the more talented person, if they're not putting in the work, the coach might actually give an opportunity to the person that's actually, I see them staying after. I see them in the weight room. I see them putting in the work. They actually care about getting better and not just resting on their laurels and how skilled they are. So, hey, if you didn't catch anything else in the episode, that right there, gems of wisdom, perfect. That could be applied outside of basketball too. That could be applied across the board in life. Transition to our fourth quarter segment. A little bit of fun, rapid fire type of questions. We're going to start off with this one. And this one's probably the hardest question I would think out of all that we have tonight. Out of the 66 books that is in the Bible, if you could choose one scripture that's your favorite, what would be that favorite scripture?
Yeah, it's a hard one, but my favorite verse is 1 John 4:19. There's no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. I actually have a tattoo on my ribs right here that says you are loved. So I think that's just a good reminder. Well, for me every day because I see it every day, but for everybody else too.
Question, complete sidebar. So I have tattoos on my ribs too. Did yours hurt?
No, because I think mine is a little bit more in the center and not quite on my ribs. So like mine honestly
Okay.
didn't hurt at all.
Okay. My Lord.
It hurt.
Whew, hurt. I have on one side, I have the word frog. It's an acronym, fully rely on God, and I have a frog on
Hmm.
the bottom. Emma, the frog is still on the outline. I did not finish the frog.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
just the outline. That's been close to 5 years. And every time I see my
Wow.
tab, man, yo, you want to do the inside?
No.
Um, not
Maybe
today.
not.
Not today.
Next time.
You mentioned Netflix. I was just watching Netflix with my kids. What are some of your right now? What are some shows that you're watching on Netflix, or even shows in general that you like that you've seen on Netflix?
I'm a big, like, crime show type of person, so right now I'm watching Scandal for the first time, and
Okay.
it's, like, amazing. Literally after every episode, I sit there with my jaw, like, dropped because it's just, like, a plot twist at the end of every episode. I'm like, "What the heck?" So, Scandal definitely right now. Trying to think of some of the other good ones I watched. Oh, I'm a big Grey's Anatomy fan. I haven't watched the recent seasons because 'cause they're terrible now. Um those are the 2 that I can think of off the top of my head right now.
Got it, got it. That's what I've heard. I haven't gotten into Grey's Anatomy, but typically when you're at season 57, you might not. It's kind of hard to keep it at the top tier level that it started. So,
Yeah, once you hit about season 12 in Grey's, you've seen it all, you can call it quits. Maybe 15 if you're feeling like a real fan, but once you get past that, it's like it's bad.
all right. So I love to eat food. So I ask every single guest a food related question. What is one meal that you could eat and never get tired of?
I am a big, like, eating out person, and I'll go into, like I'll have stretches where, like, I'm obsessed with one restaurant, so right
Mhm.
now, I could eat kava every single day and literally not get tired of it, so that's what I would say right now, kava.
What's the order at Kava?
Gotta get the saffron rice, chicken, tzatziki, hummus, red pepper hummus, then you
Hmm.
gotta get the chicken, corn, tomatoes and cucumbers, and then the little pita crisp things, and then
Hmm.
you finish that off with the garlic dressing, and they got this new hot harissa vinaigrette thing that adds a little kick to it. Fire.
Kava is one of those elite places for
It
sure.
is, it is.
I forgot who I had on, but he was like he had it one time about he said something like 3 weeks straight every day. Kava every
I
day.
think I've had it, like,
Kava.
3 times in the past week, like
It's hard to go wrong with Kava. It's really hard to go wrong with Kava.
Really, yeah.
All expense paid vacation. Where are you going?
I was thinking about this one. I think I'm gonna have to say Italy. I just feel like Italy
Mm.
would be so beautiful. I feel like there's a lot of culture there. But really, if you could just like drop me off in Europe and I'll like take trains in between the countries, I'd be more than happy with that.
I've heard that's one of the best things to do. I definitely want to do that to be able. We don't really have that. Like you could hop on a train from the East Coast to go to the West Coast, but I don't think it's the same as that Europe experience to be able to go. You're at Italy and you go to Germany and you're able to
Hmm.
just go visit all of them. Definitely on the bucket list for sure.
Yeah, I actually went to the Netherlands back in May because one of my best friends that played here, she's from the Netherlands, and so we went and we visited her and we hopped on a train and we went down to Belgium and we went to a concert in Belgium and like that was just sick.
See, much better than what we have to do in the States. Typically, we're gonna have to go hop on a plane. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
hop on a plane to go somewhere. Even in places like California,
Yeah.
hearing that like LA and Sacramento is like 4 hours apart, and San
Texas is
Fran.
just a whole nother thing.
I went I went to Houston a couple years back. Like, oh, I'm in Houston. Let me go see what's going on in San Antonio. I put it in GPS. I said, we're gonna have to come back. We're gonna have to
No.
come back. It is not. It is not as close as I thought it would be. San Antonio was far out. Then you was talking about Dallas was somewhere completely different. It's
Yep.
like, sheesh, that's crazy.
That's how they can have 3 NBA teams.
Exactly. For you, you mentioned earlier you love reading. If you had to give 5 book recommendations, what would they be?
Number one book has got to be Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. Everybody should read that book. It's beautiful. I read it like once a year. Second would be The Masterpiece, also by Francine Rivers. I haven't read that one in a minute, but that's a really good read. Um, Third, I'm a bit of a like a romance type of person when it comes to books. So third, I would have to say Verity by Colleen Hoover. That one's like a little bit romance, but also like big plot twist. And then fourth, I would say It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Also romance, but just a great overall read. And then fifth, I would say Fourth Wing. I think it's by Rebecca Yarros, maybe, but it's like a series, and there's 3 books out right now. There's 2 more coming. Those books are just amazing. Those are actually kind of more like fantasy, like there's dragons and stuff, but like it's just, and I did not think I would ever read something like that, but they're just such amazing books. Like the drama, the plot twist, like you never know what's gonna happen. So I would say those would be my 5 book recommendations.
A book that can actually create those emotions just from reading the words off of a page are some of the best books. I personally am now getting back into reading more because I was more of a TV show, movie person. Give me
Hmm.
Netflix, Apple TV, Hulu. I'll do that and be like, oh, look at that. That's crazy. And then I found out some of the best TV shows, some of the best movies were made from
Books.
books.
Yes.
Made from books. So definitely, y'all check out the 5 that she recommended right there for sure. Last question. One thing you would change about the world.
I wish we didn't have the technology that we had. I mean, this is cool being able to talk like this and kind of connect with people that you've never met, but
Mhm.
like sometimes it's just so overwhelming. Like all the social media, like having to keep up, like having to text people. Like honestly, I wish I could have lived back in like the, you know, late mid 1900s maybe when like technology was just coming around, like, but you just still knew the people in your town, but maybe you could jump in a car and drive to the next, like kind of like on the very beginning of technology, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay, okay, I get it. I got that for sure. Definitely can be overwhelming. Definitely I know for me when it comes to that technology sometimes I don't get how some people do it 24/7. At some points I
Mm-mm.
do need to disconnect. I do need to take a break, a hiatus just to get back into like actual real life cuz for those that's watching that may not know, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Threads, Twitter, it's not real life. That's not
No.
it's, it's not real life at all. And I think I agree with you on that aspect. We do with this wave of technology and social media, I think as a people we have lost that connection piece of being able to even just
Mm-hmm.
have relationships and communication with just people in your town.
Yes.
Just regular communication. Because we could, oh, just text me. Oh, just call me. Oh, I see you on Instagram. I see you on social media. And I think we have lost that aspect of the personality and having conversations just with people everyday life. So
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
definitely agree with that. Definitely think it needs to be some balance for sure. But we are at the Bench Mob ENT podcast. Extremely thankful that you took time out of your schedule to hop on with us. Make sure y'all follow Emma and her story. We will see her playing basketball professionally at some point. So it'll be in the details. It'll be posted. Instagram. Make sure y'all follow there. Follow her on there. But y'all know the vibes here on the Bench Mob ENT podcast. If you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. Bench Mob, we out. Peace.